The sea is always right.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Rings Chat. Today we'll be talking about episode 3 of the Rings of Power on Amazon Prime. Not a sponsor. Last week was all over the place. This week, I think we're settling back into our Halo
It's going to be slightly all over the place.
Which arc do you think we're going to start with? Write out a comment
Tell me
below. What do you think? What do you think my favorite arc was?
Well, what your favorite? I still think it's the Harfoots. I actually thought it was going to be this episode because of the book of the Left Behinds or whatever.
Oh, don't even.
Sorry,
if I cry again,
too strong.
If I cry again,
strong.
If I cry again, the helmet's going to rust. So be careful there.
Oh, well, no. What was your favorite arc?
The whole Numenor storyline.
It's true. I would agree. Numenor was fucking beautiful. The whole thing was beautiful.
Numenor was out.
Can we just get a clap for Numenor and the Numenorians? All right.
I hope you guys are clapping.
I'm coming for that ass.
What?
I'm talking about the Numenorians.
I'm already going to hit you with a wild theory, and it's very appropriate.
Okay.
You know how I was talking about Theo being the Witch King?
Yes.
Pretty sure Hallbrand is going to be the Witch King. I'm switching it up every single episode of Rings Chat.
He's definitely going to be one of the baddies later on in the history of Middle Earth. It's looking like that, right? I mean, I'll tell you some of the reasons why I believe
this episode.
He was pretty sus, but they tried real hard to make me think he was going to be the Dark Lord. Sauron.
Oh, Sauron? No, yeah, that's my second guess because bro is like completely just like shiesty, man.
He was sus AF
in black speech.
Well,
but we open up to Galadriel and Hallbrand in the hull of that ship that picks them up in the end of the second episode,
right?
And instantly Hallbrand is like already sus because he's like, here, have this food. And she's like,
before I take a little nibble on this.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, no, it's good. It's not poisoned for humans.
Why's he got to be like that? Come on, bro.
I don't know, man. I like Hallbrand's little bit of sass. I do like Hallbrand's little sassy bit of sass.
Yeah, me too.
He's got a bit of an attitude to him. And then they go up, and then they meet the captain of the ship, which we later find out to be Elendil, I believe is his name.
Elendil.
Elf friend, father of Isildur. Spoilers. Oh, speaking of which, let's just do the spoiler warning ahead of time. This is for episode 3. We are talking about the episode in its entirety. So if you haven't seen it, or if you're concerned about spoilers, this ain't the place for you. But if you have seen it and you want to sit and vibe with us as we talk about the episode and what we enjoyed, what we didn't enjoy, and
then still beware.
But they meet Elendil and they sail into Numenor, which
God damn. Man, remember how I was fangirling about the shots in Halo? Whew. They got Halo got nothing on these shots.
No, man.
These are so beautiful.
Yeah. It was absolutely
so beautiful.
Just breathtaking. I don't I don't know, man. It really was very similar to, remember in the Lord of the Rings, they had the 2 statues and they like panned out and they were showing the 2 statues, which I guess were Gondorian statues, but similar vibe.
Yeah.
But it had that same like sense of like wonder, like that, just like this sprawling shot of this amazing civilization,
epic
that the Numenors have created.
Mysticism.
I did like, there was one shot when they were first going in where they looked up at the tower And at first I thought it was a lighthouse because I didn't really understand. But upon my second watching, I realized that they lit the fires as they were going by. So I don't know if it's like a beacons of
beacons or
Gondor
whatever
type of situation.
That's the first thing that I thought. I was like, when I saw the soldier that kind of had that like Gondor armor, I was like, oh, I wonder if we're seeing like the first model of it, or the very beginning
version 1.0
version 1.0 version 2.0 maybe.
Another thing about this shot, the harbor of Numenor is practical. Did you know that? Like they built the harbor of Numenor in a back lot and they filled it with water and they were sailing around these boats.
Oh no,
not the whole island, obviously. But just like that harbor area with all the buildings and the docks and everything, like it's all real. Isn't that wild?
That's fucking crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Jesus Christ.
I really like that. They're
Amazon, you outdone yourself.
Into like you some bees with your trillions of dollars. Like at least you're putting it to good use. I'll give you that.
It's almost like you're powered by the Dark Lord himself. It's quite stunning.
And then when they get off the boat, Halbrand and Galadriel are walking or whatever, and they're like admiring all of Numenor. And Halbrand's like, I never knew men like me could build such things as this. And Galadriel's like, these ain't men like you. About that. Your ancestors were for little traitorous bastards. This is what would have happened if you hadn't betrayed all of us.
Yeah. These are the folks that stood with the elves, and look how good they're living. Hair flip.
And then to the whole Sauron suspicion, they're walking by and he's like eyeing the smithy,
right?
He's like seeing all them work their metal or whatever, and he's like,
he's getting his little interest piqued in the forge, and that's partly why I was like, man, they're really trying to make me think this guy's gonna forge a ring at some point. He's got this like fascination with blacksmithing.
I think I've also realized as I was rewatching the first 2 episodes, I think I've realized that like now that I'm kind of conscious that they're probably not going to make Sauron super obvious when he first shows up as now I can't remember his name again. Anatar. When he first shows up as Anatar or whatever, I feel like they're not going to make him
to
super
the elves,
obvious.
right?
Now that I know that, to the elves, I feel like every vaguely attractive looking man that I see on the screen, I'm like, Sauron.
Yep,
that's
Sauron.
Look, that's Sauron.
That guy with that really pretty dude with the cabbage cart. That's Sauron. Sauron.
But I was laughing because I was looking at the size of the city, and they eventually cut to them in the palace, and they like show that the palace is like way up in the mountains. And I was laughing while I was watching because I was like, we all understand the concept of like, oh, they went from here to here and they're in the palace now.
Yeah.
But like, the amount of difficulty that it must be.
That's the first thing I thought. I was like, how is anybody traveling on this fucking star island? There's like, you think they would have built bridges, or I mean, they might have bridges, but like, goddamn.
I think it's safe to assume that Numenor has not invented lift.
Yeah, I mean, they got it pretty good over there in Numenor. They got it pretty good.
Yeah, going up the stairs is the least of their worries, I guess. Another thing that made me laugh is they get up to the throne room or whatever like little area that they were talking in. I liked that scene because I mean, all of Numenor really reminds me of like Atlantis. Like it gives me like Atlantis, like ancient Greece type of vibes, in that way that they were set up with like all of the people in their robes and stuff, like all around in a circle having a conversation, was very like ancient Greek, and like the philosophers like all talking about their problems or whatever. And I thought that was
that'd be a nice little room to hang out.
It will be ours. But Elendil walks up with Halbrand and Galadriel, and the guard's like, "There's no time for you, Captain. The Queen is very busy." And he just like,
he
like doesn't even say anything. He just kind of shows Galadriel, and he's like, all right, well, you just keep on going.
Why don't you? If she, it's actually pretty available today. Come on in.
And then they had the whole conversation with the Queen Regent, which I guess is taking the place of the king because the king is, a friend of the elves that we find out later.
Right.
And the other guy, Farazan. Farazan is his name. Yeah.
They're
so
not
it's
they're not
Queen
married,
Regent.
are they?
I don't believe so. I think they're actually
I
related because I did like a little bit of
I think
going through the scrolls to try to figure
the
out
scrolls of knowledge. At first watch, I thought they were together, but then, but like you said, doing a little digging, I don't think they're married, but cousins.
Yeah. At first watch, I thought that that was like the king and the queen, and I didn't realize until
Right.
later that it was the Queen Regent.
And this ain't no damn Game of Thrones, so we're not getting no mix match.
Don't even get me started. Did you watch the
splish
That's a
splashing?
completely
I
separate
did.
conversation.
That's different. That's sidebar.
You did watch the latest episode?
I did
of House
watch
of Dragon?
it. I sure did.
Too much.
Too much. Too much. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
You know what I don't have to deal with when I'm watching Rings of Power? Excessive aggressive incest. So I'm good. Only a
Thank
little
you,
bit.
Tolkien.
Kind of implied.
Thanks for looking out. Thank you for looking out.
On that note, did you know that Aragorn and Arwen are like first cousins or something? I was gonna try to segue the whole incest thing into Tales of the Nova Realm, but hey, check out Tales of the Nova Realm, our fantasy fiction podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor, and anywhere that you get your podcasts. Check us out. But they go.
We don't
in
have
and
any
they talk
incest.
to the queen. We don't have any yet.
Yet. Anyways, return to Middle Earth.
So they go and they meet with the Queen Regent, and Galadriel and the Queen Regent do not get along at all. The tension between the Numenorians and the elves
butting heads
is
almost instantly.
Way up here.
She's all like, if it wasn't for the elves, and then she's all like, the elves didn't do shit, and then she was like, rest assured they did do shit, and then she was like, we paid a price. And then that's just a quick little rundown of how serious it was.
That was actually pretty accurate. I like how
it's pretty accurate.
again with our sassiness of Hallbrand, we had the whole like what is your who are we speaking to? Identify yourself, elf. And she's like, Galadriel of Noldor, with the nice rolling R, daughter of the golden house of Finalfin, commander of the armies of King Gil-galad. And then Hallbrand's just like,
hi, King Gil-galad.
And Hallbrand's just like, I'm Hallbrand of the South.
Hi.
The South friends. Hi, everybody. And it was like a little bit
Hallbrand, you can call me Hal.
Hally boy, whatever feels right. And it was like goofy. They're obviously trying to make him like goofy, which is why what happens later in the episode was so like, oh shit, okay, maybe he's not maybe he's not the lighthearted comedic relief that we think that he is.
I kind of liked it.
So after the headbutting with the queen and Galadriel, they agree to let them stay for a couple of days because Hallbrand does his Sauron-esque little
sneaky sneak
to manipulate to manipulate the Numenorians to be like, yeah, sure, stay in our city.
We call it charisma
days.
In Mordor.
Charisma, yeah. He had a roll 20 on his charisma check to see if they got to stay.
It's
not
true.
Only did they get to stay for 3 days, but apparently they're paying for their stay too, because I don't know how Hallbrand is getting the money to pay for his delicious paella.
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't that look really
well?
good?
They said they're all of it did look good, but they said they're keeping them as guests, so maybe they get a stipend. Yeah. Maybe you get a little couple,
exactly the word that
a sack of Numenorian of jubilees.
Yeah, and then Hallbrand again with his wizard ways, he gives Elendil the nice.
He's a wizard. No, I'm kidding.
He's a wizard, man. Because where I don't care. Like I know that the implication is that he's like a pickpocket, and it was like a sleight of hand type of thing,
like a street guy, like Aladdin.
Like Aladdin. exactly like Aladdin.
He's
And he
just
goes and
like
he like
Aladdin.
plucks it off of him without anybody in the room or the guards or anybody seeing
Yeah.
it. And it's like not a little thing. He didn't like take like a
No,
gem or the ring of power
he
off of
took
him. It's like this
a
big.
1.5 foot long blade.
But he gives it to Galadriel in a scene that was a little bit seeming. It might be spicy. It might be a little bit spicy. I can't decide yet.
I'm not okay.
You know
So
what
I'm not
talking about?
getting that. Oh yeah, but I'm not getting any of these spicy moments. Like it's
You're
not. It's
getting
not.
any of the spiciness.
I'm not. There's not a little bit of. It's not spice to me. I don't know. It's like it's more of like It's more like a friendship between two races that don't normally, have friendships anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and I think that you're right for the most part. But that one scene where he pulls her in to give her the dagger, I don't know. There was a little bit,
I don't know. I get it, but I'm like, for me personally, it's not, the spice is not it's not seasoned.
Let me show you. Let me show you. Give me your hand.
All right.
Give me your hand. Okay. So he had him, and then they gripped each other, and oh, my sword came out. I got excited. Okay.
Would you put that back? Would you put that back? Oh, excuse me.
Okay, never mind. You get what I'm trying to put
I got
down.
it. I got it.
Drop in the comments below what you think. Was there spice or was there no spice? So then after all of this, the Queen Regent gives Elendil the old runaround, and they're like, which eventually leads to he kind of seems like he's going to get executed, I guess. Like he kind of seems like he's in a lot of trouble, and then she's like, well, actually, here's what I want you to do, and they hand him a sword. I swear to Morgoth that I thought that the queen was going to have him try to kill Galadriel. Like I thought it was going to that's what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. If you don't want to get killed, I better make sure that elf doesn't find a way off this island. Please take this and do what you must.
We finally get our first shot of Isildur. The feeder of the great lord Sauron. I don't know if you remember, but he cuts off your little fingy there.
This one especially, it hurts to think about it.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no hard feelings, because in this show he seems
maybe
like
this is like a Marvel thing with some multiverse, and I actually don't lose a finger.
Yeah, you're the version that
Sauron will return in the multiverse. That's my fucking favorite, bro. The Queen will return in the multiverse.
Okay, moment of silence. I'm sorry, Bretton. No, they don't care.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Just like the last Game of Thrones episode, it was hit or miss, you know?
Do you
I can't stop myself. Well, let's move on.
Do you support the English monarchy? Comment below. It's just so funny because I can see the way we look on the camera, and it's so funny.
Okay, go ahead. So Isildur.
We see Isildur.
Roll your R's, please. There you go.
Isildur.
Thank you.
Every video I see of people talking about Isildur, they've been saying Isildur a lot, and I've heard it more than once. People saying Isildur. Isildur.
I don't know what that is, but people aren't hitting those R's. Yeah, and I'm just try your best. Roll your R. You know?
Isildur. Try it with us. Isildur.
Isildur. There you go.
Good job. But we see Isildur, and he's on the boat, and I thought it was interesting. The only like majorly interesting part of that scene where he's on the boat, like doing the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, is the scene where he's like distracted and he like looks off to the island, I guess to the mountain. I don't really know if the mountain is significant, if I'm honest, but there's like the female voice whispering Isildur, and I assume when I hear an ethereal whispery voice, it's an elf thing. Yeah, right.
I don't know, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you, especially based on just what happened in this episode. That whisper from the ocean or from the mountain or whatever came out of nowhere for me.
So there's the scene with Isildur, and they get to the ocean. Isildur saves his friend because he has to, because
His
he's
buddies,
Isildur.
yeah.
They have to show him being awesome. And we meet his sister, Earien, which is an original character. I guess she's not part of the lore previously.
But I think it's based off of the brother. Isn't the brother like Eadior or something like that? Earien?
I don't know the brother's name. But
we're gonna have to. Well, they mentioned the second time around they mentioned the brother's name, and it was very similar to the sister. But yeah, go ahead. She's written in.
The brother is there, but the sister is new, and I guess she's going to form or she's going to serve a purpose of
the sister is Sauron.
Being a way for us
confirmed.
Bro, could you imagine though?
There's no okay. Listen, if you want to cause a problem, you will make Sauron a character written in from Amazon Prime writers. No, there's no way.
No.
There's no way they're ever going to do that.
They could though, because okay. So she's. Oh, bro, she's Isildur's. No,
you heard it here first. You heard it here first.
No, never mind.
Also, that would be crazy.
Unhinged theory. Because obviously, because she's his sister. She's not a strange woman.
There's the hole.
There's the hole. Yeah, you're right. But okay, hey, I got excited.
Never say never.
You can never say never, because that would be wild.
That would be wild.
So we meet the sister, and I think the sister is going to just serve as the means to kind of give us an idea of Isildur's thoughts and personality, because she kind of does the talking between her and the father later on in the episode, where she's explaining him or whatever, trying to make excuses for him. So maybe it'll be just a way for us to kind of understand.
They got a nice little family dynamic.
They do, yeah.
They have a nice little family dynamic. It was nice to see them eating together, and even though the father is obviously trying to be a hard ass, you can tell the guy's got a soft side, you know?
Yeah, because there is the scene.
I love that character, man. I love that character so far.
Elendil, the father?
Yeah, Elendil, yeah.
He's incredible. I wrote it in my notes how I thought
incredible.
He was really, really good, because there's the scene.
Shout out to you. Insert actor's name, because I don't actually know your name, but your Elendil performance is amazing. I almost felt like you were my daddy.
There was the scene where Galadriel is escaping or whatever after he becomes the bodyguard or whatever, and Galadriel does again, reminiscent of Aladdin. She's kind of doing parkour to escape the palace guards.
Yeah,
and he comes across her, and just again, a testament to his performance in this father figure role when he's talking to Galadriel, and she's threatening him to escape and all this. She's like, you don't know anything about me, and he's and he crosses his arms to show that he doesn't even care that he's got this dagger on him, and Galadriel's threatening him. He's just I have a daughter and a son. What does he say? I have a daughter that runs too fast and a son that does something else.
I don't remember I don't remember the quote, but
yeah, he's like your eyes have a little bit of both, and it's he's using that experience to kind of gauge what kind of person Galadriel is. Yeah, Galadriel. You might be 3,000 years old, but I'm a dad.
but I'm a dad. Which transcends the immortal elves. The experiences
you have no idea
of collective
how
elves.
Much wisdom I have accumulated. But he takes her. And again with Elendil, I just love Elendil, man, because he's they're having this conversation, and he says the line about his kids, and then he speaks to her in Elvish, because she's I'm surrounded by people that hate me. And he's like not everybody hates the elves, and he says it in Elvish, and it's that
bro.
Scene
that was such a great scene.
That whole scene was
good. That just continues to play on that father figure of him speaking to her in a non-threatening way and in her own tongue to cause even more bring down the tension. That's a dad. That's a dad move. That's like a dad speaking millennial talk.
The situation.
I know. Hey, kid. I know you're tired AF. You know.
No cap. So he talks.
So he takes her
to her, and then he talks about the Hall of Lore, which I guess is just a library, and he takes her on a journey, a horse ride to go.
Which she was fucking hype about. Holy shit! That's the only scene so far in these 3 episodes that I'm like, why did they show her so excited to ride a horse? But I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I understood the concept where it's like Galadriel we've seen pretty much only angry, you know, and like we haven't really seen her happy other than like kind of borderline happy when she sees
that
Elrond,
was
because, like, she's meeting a friend,
real
but she was,
happy.
Like, real happy that I don't like. I guess it was like maybe symbolic of like the freedom and riding or something.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it went on. It was beautifully shot. Let me just say, it was beautifully shot, and I was very impressed cinematographically with the shot. However,
it was beautiful.
It went on far too long, and it was only like 30 seconds. But when everything's in slow motion, it felt like an eternity.
I love the slow motion shots, but again, that slow motion shot of just her smiling just felt a little out of place and awkward, and like, I don't know. But you know, out of 3 episodes, that's my first real gripe.
Yeah,
we're doing all right.
Isn't even like the right word, because it's fine, but it was like weird, and I kind of like
it really made me want to
buy like a bottle of
a horse
like lotion afterwards or something. Oh no, not lotion.
No,
no, you understand the joke.
Clip it.
No, it really, I don't know, man. Like a perfume bottle, like a perfume commercial, or like a clean and clear face wash.
Hey, I get it.
Thanks.
We get it.
Okay. Anyway, so they get to the Hall of Lore, and they talk about the Hall of Lore is built by Elrond's twin brother, which, go figure, right? Pretty cool,
right?
And then she writes the little symbol. I don't understand how it works, because like I don't understand the concept of like she writes this symbol on a piece of paper and she gives it to the old guy who's like the historian or whatever, and then he goes off and he's like, let me see what we have. Like, what did he do? Like
well, you're in a hall of lore for what looks like forever. I mean, you kind of know what you're looking for, right? He was pretty old. I think this guy knows. Like, I think he knows that library like the back of his hand. Yeah.
Okay.
That was easy for him.
Yeah, he comes back and he's got like the account from, I guess, a spy that was taken prisoner and then escaped, and then that's how he got like all the information. And then we find out that the symbol is not actually a symbol, but a map to Mordor, which apparently, or the Southlands, excuse me, which will
the Southlands,
spoilers, which become Mordor, I guess. But apparently, people knew that already. Because like I saw like
about
a couple
the Southlands
after the episode where it's like a lot of people were like very matter of fact about it. They were like, oh, we find out that the sigil is really a map to Mordor. Like, we didn't already know. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
Well, I didn't know.
I think probably like Tolkien buffs are probably able to put that two and two together. But you and I never really like studied Middle Earth maps and
the maps,
you know, the map of Numenor, and we never really like looked at like the geographics of the layout of the world.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right. I
so
have no idea.
I'm sure if we had seen it, we probably might have done the same. But just with our knowledge of like where things are in relation to things, we were gonna never get that.
That's true, because the only Middle Earth maps I've ever seen are like, you know, like when you have the book and then you like flip it open and like the first page is always like where the adventure is or whatever. Yeah, it's always like, oh, look at that, there's Mirkwood. Yeah. Oh, there's the Lonely Mountain.
The Shire. Yeah, well, you're getting like a corner of Middle Earth.
yeah. So you know what? Forgive us. Did you guess right?
Did you put it in the chat?
Hey, you know what really has a really fleshed out and interesting world? Tales of the Nova Realm, fantasy fiction podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Check it out. Magic. Okay, so the
Guy
Hall
comes
Lord
out.
finds out about the map, and
Yeah.
I guess she also finds out the other little tidbit of information that we get, where she goes back to the jail after. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, stop on Galadriel. Cut to Hallbrand enjoying his paellas in the bar because he finds out that he needs that.
Getting real sassy with everybody.
Getting real sassy with everybody. He needs the special mark
types of ruckus
of the blacksmith's guild or whatever. He needs a little symbol to get going. And he, in defeat, he goes and enjoys his delicious seafood dinner, which looked
only the best in Numenor.
Only the best in Numenor. And then they obviously give him a hard time, calling him Low Man. What did they call him?
Low Man. Yeah, they were calling him Low Man and shit.
So they go up to him and they give him a hard time. They're like, "Look at you eating our food, enjoying our city. What are you going to take from us next?" And freaking Hallbrand's like, "Well, there's always your women," and he's him and his boys.
And then Buddy had to wink over at his posse.
But he does call his posse over, and there's like that like, and this was good in this, like, in the actual score of the episode. They're doing a really good job, I think, with the music too, because like there's like that little ominous tone that goes for like a second, and then he's like, "Well, listen, boys, I want to." Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. And he's like,
"Did I say that?
Buy you guys.
What I meant was
around for everyone," he says, and then my sword came out because I got excited again. But they all get buddy again, playing into the he's Sauron theory. Like he's so
he won them all over with his sneakiness, the charm and charisma of the duck.
Yeah, I really am in between because it is like this like back and forth between like he's just desperate, he's charming, and he's desperate to like make another name for himself somewhere other than where he is destined to be or whatever. So he's like really trying hard to like try to get part of this like guild so that he can make a name for himself or whatever, which to be honest is kind of like, I thought that was a weird concept because like it's an island nation, like it's an island kingdom, not that big. The guild is probably very well regulated. You think you're going to come with like a little thing and be like, oh, then like nobody's going to notice? Like,
you probably have to be a citizen first, you know, like you're gonna have to have like proof that you live in Numenor and you were born here, and you know,
you have to marry in and you have to gain your citizenship before you can even be a part of the guild. Okay, Jesus. But he sneaks off with he's got the little thing that he picked off of the guy,
pop on the wrist.
Yep, but he does not get away with it. He does not
like literally
get away with it.
He walks like 2 feet. He turns the corner.
2 feet.
He turns the corner because they're always touching their buttons.
Like an idiot.
I would always touch my button.
Like
I would always be messing with my little button.
Yeah, you would think that if you didn't notice that your weird little thing that's probably holding up your toga is gone, somebody's going to be like, "Hey, that thing you always wear right there,
your flap is coming down. What are you doing?"
So they catch him, obviously, like obviously they're going to catch him, and he's like, he's literally like, "Oh, I don't want any trouble," and they're like, "Okay, well, trouble, you already started trouble.
Too late.
You're already in trouble."
Yeah.
And he's like, and what's so interesting, what was good about this scene was like, it was like so sincere. I feel like because he's like, you don't like, please don't do that. The sense that I'm getting, like against the Sauron theory, I don't really know. I don't know, but like it seems like he doesn't want them to attack him because he knows that he's going to destroy them, which he absolutely
them
does.
up. Yeah. That's partly why I thought he might be Sauron, because he went hard, like he was vicious on them. It wasn't just like defending himself. He
he destroyed them.
he made sure to break limbs, hammered that guy's face into the wall. You know,
Oh my
like
god.
he was like one step away from like putting his like hand through somebody's chest and then like ripping out their heart. Like it got real violent real fast.
Real violent, real fast. Which I don't know. Sauron theory. Like, does he have like the underlying thing, or is it
Does
just like
Sauron have
he's
anger
been
issues?
trained or something? Like maybe he's got like more training and like he's not just like this dirty street rat or whatever that they're considering him to be.
Right.
Oh, another thing about the Sauron theory and that we skipped over, but when he's talking to Galadriel, earlier on in the episode, and they're like talking to each other, and she's talking about him finding peace or whatever, and he's like, I've been searching for my peace longer than you know.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
oh yeah, that's
is that
right.
supposed to be like a little sprinkle of like,
yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. For me, it was so many times they threw these like little things out at us. So many times that they threw these little morsels out. Every time they did, I was like, no, there's no way. This is totally like a red. What do they call that? A red herring? Red fish?
I think red herring is the right word. Yeah. Yeah, I think red herring is the right word.
Yeah. I thought it was like to totally just throw us off the scent, and I was like, nah, I really don't think. I think they want us to think it's Sauron, and I don't believe it is. Too
That's
obvious.
What I'm saying. It's like every single episode is like, that person's probably Sauron. I really kind of wish that I knew nothing at all about Lord of the Rings.
I know.
I wasn't constantly analyzing to see like,
yeah.
and I don't know a lot about
who could
Lord
be
of the
what,
Rings, like obviously, but like
right.
I know enough to know that Sauron is slinking about. I know enough that Sauron is slinking about, and I'm like trying to constantly guess.
Now we know that he is somebody powerful as shit. You know what I mean? Just in strength alone. I mean, this guy. No, Halbrand. Like Halbrand. I thought he was just like some street guy, but that wasn't some street guy shit. I mean, he fucked them up.
Yeah, and I think that's what we were getting to before I did the cutaway. But Galadriel finds out that he isn't just a regular old street rat. He is actually the forgotten king of the Southlands. I guess. Like, and I don't know if he was like ever king, or if it's like a Aragorn. He's like the anti-Aragorn at this point. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Right.
And
Aragorn wouldn't have done that.
He gave like Aragorn vibes like immediately the second that I saw him. I was like, oh, long haired dude, kind of scruffy, looks like a ranger. But yeah, so we know that he's like the king of the Southlands now because Galadriel finds out that the little symbol that he wears around his neck.
Right. But now that he's been pickpocketing a bunch of people, now what part of me believes that he just picked that shit up off somebody.
I mean, that's true too. Like, who's to say that this guy has like any claim to just because he's got the thing around his neck?
Just because he's got the little thing doesn't mean that he had it himself.
Huh. Yeah. Like maybe, because he does like play along with it. Like he knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
But
he always hides it.
Maybe.
You know, he's always like, he always wants to change the subject when she brings it up.
Yeah, but he's like sneaky. So who knows? Maybe he purposely like.
What do you think? Put it in the comments. Is this guy a sneaky guy or is this guy the king? One thing before we move on, I had seen online some folks saying like, oh, how is Galadriel was just escorted into the cell, and she got to go down into the prisons with no problem and blah 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 blah. And I was thinking to myself, I can't remember, was she escorted down there with somebody, or did she snuck down there, right? I believe she snuck down there,
but I don't think so. I feel like I got to rewatch it, but the way that she was like composing herself, it seemed very much like she just walked down there. But I don't know.
Okay,
I feel like there was guards. I feel like there might be behind.
There might be, but the point that I was trying to make is that, first of all, she's an elf. She can probably move around without being noticed if she wanted. And then on top of that, the guards had already made comments about this is like the second or third time they lost her. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
When they were running around looking for her, they were like, "This is the second time. You're gonna have to tell them this time." You know?
Yeah.
So
but even
I think it's
like,
well in her power to get down somewhere she wants to go.
yeah,
If she,
I mean,
if she wasn't
could
escorted.
get down there. Yeah, I think that she could get down there if she wanted to. But even then, like, it would just be a matter of, hey, where's the guy? Where's the
where's
other
Halburn?
one?
Yeah.
And they'd probably be like,
where's the other
oh,
dude?
well, he
yeah.
got himself in a bit of a scrap today. He's in the stocks. And she'd be like,
It's
oh,
true.
well, can I go see him? And they'd probably be like, well, all right, but make it quick. Like, why wouldn't they let her go say hi to him?
Because when they first got there, they had kept her. What's his name? Farazan. He said that she was going to be held within the palace.
Yeah,
and then right, she escaped. So are you
saying that they got back and she would be in trouble? But if she came back with what's his name?
I'm just saying that I'm seeing people saying that she's been sneaking around this whole time, and all of a sudden it's a problem that she snuck down into a dungeon. If she snuck down in there, I can't remember if she did or not, but I'm pretty sure she did. But anyways, that was just
either way.
Offering.
I think that's just people finding reasons to be upset about.
Yeah, anything. Which is crazy. Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah, here's the difference between us and people like that. We complain about her smiling too long on a horse. They complain about her
her sneak story.
I think it's right after that scene. The Queen Regent goes up to the tower where the king is held, which in the shot that was showing that tower, I didn't notice this at first, although I guess I probably should have. But the palace is constructed the exact same way. Well, not the exact same way, but very reminiscent to Minas Tirith.
Yeah, where the white tree is and the Denethor. What is this? Denethor? The father?
Like
ran his fired up ass off the with his little fruit juice pouring out his mouth. Little fruits. Play it again. Home is behind. No, you could. That's gonna be for TikTok. You're gonna do the play it again.
The world. Yeah. Check it out.
That's
on
a good
TikTok.
one.
15.
Check it out.
Probably have made it already if you're seeing this video. So the queen goes up the tower, and she is speaking to the king, and she's like, "The thing that we feared is happening.
Yeah,
the elf is here," and that leads me to believe. One, is it Galadriel? Is there some sort of prophecy where like an elf shows up and that's bad things? And is it talking about Galadriel or is it talking about Sauron?
They're talking about
or Anatar or whatever.
That's that's a good point.
And then the other thing that like not irked me, but like sparked some suspicion, I guess, is that they didn't show the king.
Yeah. The king is Sauron.
The king is Sauron. But
I'm always thinking somebody's gonna have like worm tongue in their ear now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So I feel like when we see the king, maybe he'll look like worm tongue, like maybe he's like
like all
affected,
covered
in some
in darkness,
why would
and influenced by the darkness?
But wouldn't it be the other way around though? Like the regular Numenorians that don't want to have anything to do with the elves are the ones that are being influenced.
I'm not entirely sure why they would. Yeah, it could be that the king is like dead or something crazy, you know. It could be like she's just talking to.
You think like she's just talking to nobody, and he's like,
she's just talking to like a corpse or something. Yeah,
bro. That okay. Yes, I like that.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
When the camera pans over to the king,
put your rings on. Everybody, put your sitting at home. Put your rings on.
That's not. Please don't make that our thing. Please.
Put your rings on. Hold on to your butts. Put your rings on.
Hey mom. I've been watching these guys online, and this is their thing that they do.
This is their thing. They tell me, "Put your rings on." Say, "Mom, oh, I'm cool, man. I'm so cool."